Hello everybody, welcome back to 366 Days of Hope. My name is Pearl and I'm here to share our next video. But a quick disclaimer, I am a personal trainer. I am not a medical doctor, so anything that I'm sharing on here regarding to health, wellness, fitness, and all of that, that is something that you can discuss with your physician and to make sure that you are doing your research before you try things out. So in any case, back to what I was going to talk about, which is gratitude towards small businesses that help improve our health. And the reason why I talk about this is because I have been just dealing with a ton of health things recently that have come to light. You know, even as personal trainers, you can do things right. You could try to eat right all the time, but sometimes you just don't know all the things that might be going on with your body. And so I'm just really grateful for the fact that we have, you know, all these different companies that we can choose from as long as we do our research to figure out, hey, what's good for you, right? So one of the companies that I recently have just absolutely loved is a company called LifeSource Vitamins. Now, I just recently moved to a northern state, which I would say upper northern state, so it's a little bit cold, but honestly guys, I have rarely gotten sick. I don't think there was a time I've ever been like sick for longer than maybe a day or even a few hours. It would just usually pass because I generally ate healthy and my immune system is pretty strong. But for whatever reason, I could not kick whatever it was that I got when I came up north. And maybe it's because of the pollen. It could be the fact that I'm just in a new area, new bugs, right? New places. I sort of had a similar experience when I moved to South Korea. But here I just could not kick it. It was like lasting for more than 4 weeks, and I had this lingering cough, and I thought maybe is this pertussis, maybe it's whooping cough. Like, I had all the similar symptoms that I had when I had it. So I went ahead and looked for a natural antibiotic because one, I just don't really go to the doctors often, and I'm not saying that you shouldn't do that, guys. That is not what I'm saying at all. Especially as an entrepreneur and also a small business, sometimes your health insurance plans don't always cover those things really well. So I'm just saying that for me, I just wanted to figure out a much more affordable option for myself. And so I went and got this, and within a week, I think not even a week of using it, I stopped coughing. I stopped having these like weird pains in my neck. And it was just all gone. My stomach, I didn't have nausea anymore. I was now back to basically my normal self. And one of the things that I loved about this particular product is that it was helping the gut flora. Now, there was a case study that was done. You can read this, you can look it up in, I believe, the National Journal of Medicine. And they did a study where basically what they did is they gave people probiotics and prebiotics instead of giving them antibiotics to help with healing their body when they came in for certain gastrointestinal issues. Well, what they discovered is that people who were put on probiotics and prebiotics ended up doing so much better in terms of their immune system and were able to recover from their illnesses faster. And so they started looking at the benefits of probiotic, prebiotic, and gut health instead of lampooning the entire place, you know, and I'm just, when I talk about your entire place, I'm talking about your gut and your body and your system, basically with a bomb that just like destroys everything. And that's what antibiotics do. It just completely destroys the entire gut flora, good and bad bacteria, whatever it may be, it just kills it all. And so what the probiotic prebiotic does is it works with your immune system to build up those good bacteria. And so this really helped a lot. Like LifeSource Vitamins, I literally just went and got me another because we're just almost out. So my husband, who's a diabetic, he's been using it whenever he has his feelings and symptoms, and it seems to be helping him. And so this is just another important thing about like just making sure you do your research, looking at what you can do to help improve your body. And obviously, like my mom says, you know, the food that we have now is very different from the food back then. Like, we're depleting the nutrients out of the soils. So because of that, we don't have as much of the nutrients that the food used to have. And so we may be needing to use, supplements to help fortify our body. The other thing that I'm also using is the Life Source Blood Support. Basically, it's an iron supplement in helping with my ferritin levels. And having done a lot more research on ferritin, I'm realizing more of how that's kind of a telltale sign that could help you identify if you are going to go towards hyperthyroidism. I think it's important to just see if you could do, your labs early just to check and make sure that everything is good. There were a lot of things that had recently happened in my life, as mentioned, I think in the previous videos. And so I ended up being able to see more of what was going on with my body and doing my own research by looking at what did all of these results tell me that my doctor at the time, my ER doctor, did not have time to cover and look into. So now it was kind of on me to be my own researcher. And I think it's important that we kind of research our own stuff, but also you collaborate with, doctors and nurses that and so that's kind of what I've been doing. Also, another thing I highly suggest is having a coach. There are really great coaches out there. If you're looking for a couple of references, I can definitely lead you to a few. There are, nutrition coaches. There are nurse practitioner coaches. I think that will benefit you in helping you get to a healthier state, especially if you're not one to understand your labs really well. They can sort of give insight. So that's one of the other ones that I've been taking because I want to support my ferritin levels and to help increase it. The other thing I started to take was castor oil. Castor oil is been used for many years. In Asia, they use castor oil. They use a lot of essential oils, and I think essential oils, even though they kind of have had this sort of reputation of it's not really, it's anecdotal, it's not research or backed by research. The reality is oils have been used for hundreds of years. Tinctures and poultices have been used for hundreds of years. And so when you look into researching these things, keep that in mind. There's a reason why we have them still, and there's a reason why people still use them. I truly believe it. So here's one of my anecdotal thing. I've been using it on my face, and I didn't know this was going to happen until later, but and not to get all vain, okay, this wasn't even the intention. So I had these little bumps on my eyebrows, on my eyelids, not eyebrows, on my eyelids. And so I've been using castor oil on my eyelids, just literally I just do this, and then I take that finger and I just wipe it right on my eyelids and on my cheekbone, because what I've heard castor oil does is it helps break calcified material in the bone. It goes deep into the skin, but you make a patch out of it, then it sinks in deeper the longer you have it on. And I haven't quite done that yet, although I'm thinking about doing it. I've heard some beneficial things, which I'm still researching on because I'm not certain how accurate those statements that I've heard are. However, I will say I've heard of castor oil and comfrey being able to help with joint pain, or at least relieving joint pain. And so that's kind of one of the other things I'm looking into. So I basically put it on my cheeks because when I got my CT scan, I discovered that I had some calcifications inside my face, and that was due to possible traumas that I experienced as a child that unfortunately has caused those growths. And one of the things that I didn't realize castor oil was going to do is make your eyelashes really long. And as an Asian, my eyelashes are naturally really short. In fact, growing up, I didn't even have eyelashes. I didn't even know I could get eyelashes. But my eyelashes, this is not, okay, Not vanity, and not to be like all vain, but this is actually not like extensions. These are my real eyelashes. That's what's crazy. I was never one to have really like long eyelashes, but to me that's kind of insane of how long they are. For me, like if I have glasses on, my eyelashes actually touch the lens of the glasses, which is probably why you see me wear glasses without so the lenses. But nonetheless, there are a lot of other beneficial things. So right now I have a nodule or a little bump, which someone has mentioned like, oh, it's nothing, it's just, you know, you get some like a, I don't exactly know, I haven't had it biopsied or anything, since it isn't hurting me. It just sometimes bugs me when I run my, you know, comb in my hair, and I have this little bump on my head that's protruding out just a tiny bit. And so I'm trying castor oil to see how it's going to affect it. I will say it's definitely done wonders for my hair as I've been putting the oil in, and it's made my hair feel a lot more lush and thick than I've had it feel in a long time. So that's a unique thing I wasn't expecting. I was hoping more for just relief on that little nodule, but we'll see what happens. I'm also thankful for another product, is actually Let It Be Light Wild Yam Cream. So this particular, let's see, can you see that? Maybe there. All right. So this particular one I've been using for, apparently it's good for hormonal control. I will say I was using it consistently up until my cycle, and one of the things I will say I definitely noticed is a very big different change in the flow. That is one thing that I will say I definitely noticed. And I am going, because after, like, once you're on your cycle, you can't use this because it messes with your hormones. Like, you want to, like, you can't use it during your cycle, and you want to wait like 3 days after your cycle or so before you restart using it. So you kind of want to like have that sort of break time. So that's what I've been doing. So I'm actually going to be starting again today, but I definitely noticed a huge difference in my ability to like have a very clean flow, like meaning there wasn't a lot of clotting. It wasn't overly like heavy and thick, if that makes sense. Like, I know you ladies get it, but it was light and it was almost watery, and very bright red, which is, from my research and what I've understood it to be, was very healthy. So I give kudos to this cream for helping with that, because one of the things I've been trying to do is helping with it. And I do like that it does show you, and I'll go ahead and open up my box here. It does show you where to apply it. So for me, I'm a visual learner, but also I remember where I last was. So I kind of rotate between every application. So it's like, oh, yep, I started on that one, so the next time I use it, I'll be doing it on this one. My brain just kind of like clocks it in and remembers what parts so that I need to apply it on. And it's, despite it being small, you actually, at first I was like, is that even enough? But I'm actually not applying a lot. And to me, for right now, I'm barely applying a full spoon. So that spoon is about the size of my pinky. Okay, so it's like this big, but I'm probably doing half of my pinky in terms of like how much I'm actually putting on. So this is gonna last me quite a bit, because at first I was thinking, my goodness, why is this so small? It's only 2 ounces, but 2 ounces, guys, is actually a lot when you think about it. So and this is what a 1 month's use of it looks like. I barely put a dent into it, it feels like. So definitely worth getting. And like I said, I am not being sponsored, but for dealing with overall health and wellness, this is something I'm grateful for, is that we have all of these tools available to us. Is it a little bit on the pricey side to some degree? It depends on what that is for you, you know, economically speaking. But then again, I look at it this way. Which would you have more? Would you rather have a medical bill, or would you rather have to spend a little bit on, you know, remedies that you could do at home that doesn't require like constant prescriptions all the time? And I probably won't get through this for another like 3 months, because one of these creams is going to last me that long. So, you know, so I think that if I look at it from counting the costs, I would say, you know, probably these are going to be a lot better for me, and I know like what's in them because they list all of their ingredients, and I did my research, and I highly encourage everybody else to do the same, especially when you're looking at like testimonials that people have had. And I've done a lot of research and looked at so many people's testimonials of what they've had, especially when it comes to like hormonal imbalance and dealing with, you know, things that would help with, you know, their overall health, and dealing with what I'm currently dealing with, which maybe I'll talk about more in another video. But I'm just saying, I'm grateful to these companies, Life Source, Let It Be Light, De La Cruz. Those companies have been so important in my life personally, and it's given me such a huge gratitude that I feel like God's given so many people different wisdom in knowing how to procure these things and be able to create these things, so that people like myself don't have to learn another trade, I'll have to learn another thing, even though I am learning the use of it. I'm learning a lot more about like how they benefit, but I don't have to go and make it, you know what I'm saying? So this is something I'm very, very grateful for. And so just under that umbrella of gratitude, I am thankful to companies that are in line with helping our health. So with that said, may you live, thrive, and be healthy. Take care. Bye.